everybody. I'm here with another layout for you all for my album from London that I'm redoing a lot of the pages for. So this layout was an experiment for me. I decided that I wanted to get out a bunch of my mixed media supplies and really see what I could do with them. So for this layout, I'm using Nuvo drops in Shimmering Rose and I think the other one's called Mustard Gold. I can't reach it right now. I can see it, but I can't reach it. So what I did was I just took some of the Nuvo drops onto the paper and I spread it around with a palette knife. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the gold color. This was a lot of fun. It makes your layout super shiny, like super shiny background paper, but really fun and something different to do with Nuvo drops instead of just using them as like enamel dot type things. So here I'm trying to get them to blend a little bit better in the middle, but I did this before I made the layout. So I made, what was it, 1, 2, 3 backgrounds at the same time. I just made a bunch of them and I turned the video camera on and I recorded them all separately. So that way if I did decide to make them into layouts, I could split them up into the right video that corresponds with it. So I did make this one into a layout. So here we go. It's the next day or later in the day. I'm not really sure. I think it's just later that day after it had dried. And so I got my pictures out. If anybody would like to know, I had those pictures printed at Persnickety Prints. They are amazing, amazing quality. I love them so very much. I am using the Head in the Clouds project pad because I opened it for this video, so I still had it. And I chose the navy blue and this blush pink with gold foil stars on it because I thought the pink and the gold would work really, really well with this Nuvo paste background. It is super shiny. Unfortunately, I do end up covering a lot of it up. But that's okay because it's kind of messy in the middle. So here the pattern paper was a little too big, and then I'm going to really fuss around with where to put my photo block. And I mean, oh sorry, I think I put that down a little hard. Like, I move it all over the place. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Why don't I rotate the paper and not the photos? Let's see where I like the photos. And then I'm looking at the outside edge and I'm like, okay, like this looks awkward here. Like, maybe I'll put it there. Yeah, it changes again because then I take a break and I come back. I did this on Friday and I came back today, which is Monday, and finished the layout. So I took a 2-day break on this layout and it was sitting on my desk today and I was like, I really want a scrapbook. And then I looked at my desk and there was a partially made layout on it. I was like, perfect, let's finish this layout. So that's what I did. So I am fussy cutting a bunch of little banners and labels from the Head in the Clouds cut apart sheet that's in the project pad. I may or may not use them. Oh, I'm really sorry for the shadow on this page. I think I realized at the very, wow, I did not put that on straight. I wonder if it stays that crooked on my layout, because that is not straight. Okay, anyways. I didn't realize that my cup of water was making a big shadow on this layout until the very end because I didn't turn my studio light on due to the fact that I had nice natural lighting coming in the window today and it wasn't super bright. It was really diffused because it's overcast and it was snowing while I made this layout, but it stopped now. So the sky was like gray, but it was still bright outside. So it was perfect natural lighting day. So, but I didn't realize there was a shadow from my water cup. And I think at the very end of the video, I'm going to move it. So I would just like to say I had a personal triumph. I put a polar bear on a layout. If there's ever a topic that a polar bear is applicable for, and a key, polar bear and a key, unless you're like documenting the Golden Compass or something, probably not going to happen. But the Tower of London has a polar bear at it that looks not unlike that polar bear on the layout. So I was like, yes, this polar bear needs to go on my layout. Yeah. And the key. Because this, if you didn't know, this is, and a lot of you probably don't know, this is Traitors Gate at the Tower of London. And I realized when I was going through my layouts of my time spent at the tower on this trip that I didn't actually scrapbook any of the photos of Traitors Gate. So I was like, well, since I'm redoing this album, I must remedy that. So I did. And so this layout is going to go into that album, and I think I'm going to have to add more mixed media type elements into that album because I don't think there's a lot of them from that time period. I think I scrapbooked a lot of those layouts before I started doing mixed media. I have no idea where I've gone. And I quite literally just started this today. Oh, I think I was starting a video. I think I was starting a YouTube video. I'm going to come back soon. Hopefully. Oh, I meant to mention earlier, before when I was using the Nuvo drops, that I've seen people put them through stencils. So you do similar to what I did. Oh, I was looking for a stamp. That's what I was doing. And then I don't find one that I want to use. And quite honestly, I was not interested in getting up from my scrapbook desk to go find one. These stamps, they're new from Close to My Heart. Like, I just got them last week. And they have a really strong scent to them, and it's like it's not a pleasant smell. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this with Close to My Heart stamps. I have quite a few Close to My Heart stamp sets, and I've never noticed that before. So I'm not sure if they have like a new manufacturing process. But they are very strongly scented, and it's not a nice scent. I was not a fan. And it actually gave me a bit of a headache, which isn't unheard of for me. So all of these little die cut pieces that I pulled out for this layout, they were just in a pouch that I found while I was unpacking things. And the colors all really matched. They matched extremely well. So I thought, well, let's use them on this layout. So I think some of them are from Pink Paisley's Moonshine. Was that that collection name? Moonstruck, maybe? Moonstruck. That's from a Chamel, I think it's Starshine cut apart sheet. The key says, "You hold the key to my heart," which obviously is not going to work for the Tower of London. So I'm like, okay, well, first step, cover this up. Second step, cover up the very cartoon dragon because it does not match anything else on this layout. Add a blush butterfly to it. It's like, excellent, perfect. Let's do that. If you don't know, they do this thing at the Tower of London called the Ceremony of the Key, I think it's called. I think that's the official name for it. Basically what they do is they lock up the tower at night and they parade the key and make a big not a big to do about it, but it's a traditional thing. So then I saw the key and I was like, oh, this has multiple meanings. And yes, there's no actual polar bear in this picture, but there are polar bears. Well, I think there's more than one polar bear at the Tower of London. Not real bears. Don't be disappointed, please, if you go looking for real bears. There used to be real polar bears there. They had a menagerie at the tower of animals that were brought to the kings and queens from foreign heads of state. These are the fun facts that I know about in my video. One day, I think I'm going to do something different and not talk about scrapbooking and just talk about history while I scrapbook in a video. Just for something different. I've seen people do it that do makeup tutorials. They'll talk about like true crime stories and things like that, and they won't talk about what they're doing. I thought it might be fun. Just something different, something very silly. But anyways, I might do that. So I called this layout Traitors Only, which is kind of a misleading title, but sorry, I swallowed some air. It's a misleading title because not Traitors weren't the only people that entered through this gate. It was used by other people who worked and lived in the tower, as well as people who visited the tower. I don't think the royalty used this gate, but I could be wrong. I think they had a specific gate that the royalty would use. However, I'm sure certain royalty did enter from this gate, those who were executed. I know Anne Boleyn did not enter through Traitors Gate because when she went to the tower, it was low tide. These are important facts that I know, that I'm aware of. So these little acrylic shape that I'm using, this is a very, very thick acrylic geotag. It was from a Scrapbook and Cards Today sample package that I found while I was cleaning. It also had those little wood veneer pieces in it and other various ephemera. The other ephemera does not make this layout because it is pineapple themed. Not exactly travel in the United Kingdom themed. Not that I scrapbook by theme very much, but sometimes I do. Not often. So I was looking for something to put under the end of Traitors because it's currently just kind of hanging there and I didn't really like it. So I was looking for something and I found something that was the perfect size and shape, but it was neon colored. Definitely not what colors I was using on this layout. So I cut a piece of paper from this black 6x6 paper, and then I cut it into a banner shape to match the Starshine cut apart paper at the top. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking like, okay, this doesn't, like, there's this black piece of paper here. Now what? It's just this black piece of paper that's just hanging out at the bottom of the layout and there's nothing on it. So I'm like, okay, can I put a word sticker on it? Like, what should I do? And I was like, I know, I have those other two butterflies. And they, like, that would be really good if I could bring one into the bottom of the page. So I did. And then I was looking at it, I'm like, well, this looks awkward because now, like, there needs to be the third butterfly on this layout. But it's really big. And it overlaps with the polar bear. Or regular bear. I don't know. It could be a brown bear. I'm not up to my bears. I thought of it as a polar bear because there were polar bears at the Tower of London, but it could just be a normal bear. So then I was like, well, okay, this butterfly really does need to go on this layout here. Otherwise, it just kind of looks awkward and empty. And then I'm like, okay, I still need something else to bring this all together. So I was like, well, I'll get out my new enamel dots that I just got in the mail today. and I'll use those. And I was hoping that they would be brighter than they actually look on the layout, but that's okay. And then I'm like, oh, where do I put it down here? Because it's a lot of awkward space in this area. So, and then I'm like, oh, 1, 2, oh, the third one needs to go there, but then that's drawing your eye to the trap space, and I don't want that. But anyways, it all works out. Thank you for watching.